Good day, I'm Catherine RCP from BISIT 4A. In this video, we will be learning the basics of Cisco Packet Tracer and we will establishing an example of peer-to-peer network using this software. Packet Tracer is a cross-platform visual simulation tool designed by Cisco system that allow users to create network topologies and imitate modern computer networks. The software allows users to simulate the configuration of Cisco routers and switches using a simulated command line interface. Cisco Packet Tracer is an innovative and powerful networking simulation tool used for practice, discovery, and troubleshooting. It is important that we learn concepts both theoretically and practically rather than being mark-oriented. We must be knowledge-oriented and also we must acquire a sound practical knowledge so that it will help us to solve any analytical questions. Because Cisco Packet Tracer will help us to understand network practically. So without further ado, let's start. I have already downloaded the Cisco Packet Tracer. So I will open the Cisco Packet Tracer. So it is now being opened. Now we got the Cisco Packet Tracer and this is the workspace where we are going to build a network. And we have so many tools here. For example, if we click this, these are all routers. Cisco has a variety of routers. You can choose any of the routers you want since we are dealing with the basic concept. You can choose any of the basic routers. And if you want switches, just click this one. You will get a variety of switches and I will always prefer Cisco 2960 switch. If you want hubs, just click here. You will get some hubs. If you want to use some wireless devices in our workspace, just click here. You will get some wireless devices. And if you want security devices, just click on this. You will get security devices like firewall. And if you want some cables, just click this. You will get these some cables and we are concerned of these two cables. This is the straight through cable and this is the crossover cable. And this is a coaxial cable. If you want serial cables, you can go for these serial cables. And now, we will be dealing with Discover straight-through cable and crossover cable. If you want devices, just click here. You will get lots of devices like PC, laptop, server, printer, TV, phone, and some other devices. And now, we will establish a peer-to-peer network. To establish peer-to-peer network, I am taking two computers. So, after clicking on this N devices, we'll get lots of N devices. So, click this device that is our PC and click this on the workspace. So, we need two computers. So, we will click this again and click to our workspace. So, we have brought in two computers in our workspace. What cable is used in order to connect these two computers? For connecting two different devices, we have used Ethernet straight-through cable. For connecting to the same devices, we have to use crossover cable. Since these two are the same type, so we have to use Ethernet crossover cable. How to use crossover cable? Just go to the cable parts, that is the connection part, and we have to click on this straight through cable or crossover cable. Since we are in need of crossover cable, just click on this crossover cable and come to this PC. In this PC, we will have an Ethernet port. Just click on this PC. You will find 4 ports. One is the RS232 port, which is a serial port, and USB 0, USB B1, and fast Ethernet 0. We are going to connect an Ethernet cable, and to be precise, it is a crossover cable. So we have a port here, that is the Ethernet port. Just click on this and go to this PC and click on this PC. We are going to connect. In this PC also, we are going to connect the fast Ethernet. So, we have taken a cable, just visualize like this. We have a CPU, we have our computer, and we have our cable. This is like taking an Ethernet crossover cable and connecting it to the two Ethernet ports of the two different computers. And if you want to know more about this, just click on this PC and just go to the physical part. This is the CPU port. This is the CPU portion of this PC. Just scroll a little bit. You will find an Ethernet port here. Inserting that crossover cable into this port, and similarly for this PC also, we will have an Ethernet port. So this is like taking a cable and plugging it into the exact port. So far, we have taken two computers. We have connected an Ethernet crossover cable through this computer. Now, we will see whether these computers are reachable or not. But we are missing one thing. We have not yet assigned any IP address to any of these PCs. Now, we will assign IP address to this PC. Just click this computer, go to the desktop option. In desktop option, you will find an IP configuration. Just click on this IP configuration and we will give some IP address to this PC. Let it be 10.10.10.1 and click the subnet mask, and we will not change anything here because we are only focusing its IP address. So we have now assigned an IP address of this PC, which is 10.10.10.1. And to this PC, we will assign its IP address to 10.10.10.2. So, we have now assigned IP address to both PCs. The IP address of this PC is 10.10.10.1. And the IP address of this one is 10.10.10.2. So, we will put a level so that it will be easy for us to understand. So, this is just a label. It has no role to play with the networking concept. This is the computer that is having the IP address 10.10.10.1. So this is 10.10.10.2. Now we will see what is the IP address of this PC and what is its MAC address, and whether these two computers are reachable. Note that I am working with this computer 10.10.10.1. Now, to view the configuration details in the command prompt of the computer, we are required to give ipconfig command. Just go to this PC. Now, we are not going to configure the IP address to the PC. Rather, we are going to see the impaired Rust. We have to see what is the IP configuration. So, in that PC, we have to go to the command prompt. And the command to know the IP configuration is ipconfig. Then click enter. And it gives the IP address details. The IP address of this computer is 10.10.10.1. And we will see what is the IP address of this computer. So the IP of this computer is 10.10.10.2. Now, how to see the physical address? Go to this PC, then desktop, then command prompt, and give ipconfig /all and see what is the physical address of this computer. It is 00D0.BC67.05D9. And the MAC address of this computer is, if you notice, Windows use a different notation. Cisco is using a different notation. Cisco uses dot as the separator, whereas Windows use hyphen as the separator. But whatever it is, MAC address are generally 48 bits. Now, we will see the MAC address of this PC. Just click this PC, click command prompt, and give ipconfig /all. Here, space should be provided, but in Windows, you don't need to give space. Whereas in the packet tracer is the simulation, you have to give ipconfig /all. And the MAC address of this computer. So far, we have seen how to see IP address and MAC address in the computer in Cisco Packet Tracer. Now, we will see whether two computers are reachable or not. Now, we will go to this command prompt of this computer, and I will issue the command ping 10.10.10.2. That is the destination computer, and this computer is going to send 4 packets, and it will receive acknowledgement for 4 packets. Let me open this computer and click command prompt, and let me give ping 10.10.10.2. Note that I am working in this computer which is having the IP address 10.10.10.1. And I want to check whether 10.10.10.2 is reachable from 10.10.10.1. So from 10.10.10.1, I am issuing ping 10.10.10.2. So what happened if I click enter? So it sends 4 packets. So it sends 4 packets. If the connectivity is there, it will receive 4 acknowledgement. I am getting replies for 4 packets that are sent. If you could notice, it has sent 4 packets, and it has received acknowledgement for 4 packets. So, the number of packets that are sent are 4. And the number of packets are received is also 4. So, 4 packets are sent and 4 packets are received. And we have encountered no loss, so there is 0% loss here. So now we learned the basics of Cisco Packet Tracer and how to establish peer-to-peer network topology. Hope it helps you and thank you for watching.